Just works perfectly as a one-step cleanser, especially in the shower. I just love the feeling of that more lightweight moisturizer in the morning. It is one of the best-selling SPFs in Japan and has been for a few years now. Minasan konnichiwa, this is Tina and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be sharing some skincare hits and misses. If that sounds like your thing, then please go ahead and channel登録しちゃってください. It has literally been so long since I've done a hits and misses video. I was checking my channel and the last time I released one was September of last year. I never intended to go that long without doing a hits and misses, but I was doing other content and then life got in the way, and you know what? Yeah, it's been like a year, so I thought, why not? We'll do a good old-fashioned hits and misses video. If you are somewhat new to my channel and don't know what hits and misses are, basically it is products that I've been trying out recently, and I've gathered my first lot of impressions of them to whether it is a hit or a miss in my books. Before we get started, my skin type is dry dehydrated, and I do live generally in a dry and dehydrated climate. Okay, so the first product I have is something that I am so late in trying. I know it was released forever ago and so many people love it, but it is the Naturium Niacinamide Cleansing Jelly 3%. Yes, we are starting off with some non-Asian skincare. I actually have a good variety. I have Japanese, Korean, and American brands today. I do know so many people love this cleanser, and it is described as an essence-like cleanser that contains 3% of niacinamide, said to help with achieving that smoother, softer skin. So initially when I got this, I was actually confused to whether it was a first or second step cleanser, because on their website it does say that it helps to gently dissolve makeup oil and impurities. So I was like, wait a second, is it a first step? But they also write on there that you can use it as an AM or PM cleanser, meaning that it can just be used as a second step face wash type cleanser, which I have found like the perfect opportunity to use this cleanser. For me, it is perfect for those days that I'm just wearing sunscreen. As I mentioned earlier, having dry skin, sometimes I feel like it's a little intense, especially right now in winter, to go in with a full-on double cleanse. Especially when I'm not wearing makeup, I just don't find it necessary. So the fact that this cleanser has enough of those cleansing ingredients that's going to help remove my sunscreen, but not overly harsh for sensitive or dry skin, just works perfectly as a one-step cleanser, especially in the shower. It is called Gelee, and yes, it does have this jelly-like consistency, but it does create a nice lather when you add water and foam it up in your hands. It definitely doesn't leave your skin feeling like squeaky clean or dry. It is also vegan, cruelty-free, and fragrance-free, so yeah, it has definitely been a hit for me, and I've been leaving it in my shower to cleanse on those sunscreen-only days. Next, we're going to move on to moisturizers, and the first one I have is the Laneige Water Bank Blue Hyaluronic Emulsion. It has been quite some time since I've tried anything from Laneige, but I know this Water Bank series had been quite popular, especially the cream in the little square-like jar. But personally speaking, the emulsion was actually the one that I was more curious about, because for the last few months, I have pretty much exclusively been using emulsions in the morning. Yes, even though it's winter, but I just love the feeling of that more lightweight moisturizer in the morning. I also use a decently moisturizing sunscreen, so for me an emulsion just works so perfectly under sunscreen and makeup in the morning. So yeah, I have been using the Flasking one for the last few months, but it is getting low. I think I have this much left in the bottle, so I ended up leaving this one in my studio get ready room for makeup prep, and I switched to using this one for mornings that I'm not filming and just doing my regular skincare routine in my bathroom. This one obviously has hyaluronic acid, as I'm pretty sure the whole Water Bank line does, as well as panthenol, and then lactobacillus ferment lysate, which has always been one of my favorite fermented ingredients. It helps to achieve overall healthier skin and also helps with your skin barrier. This one I absolutely love the texture. So it actually comes out pretty solid for emulsion. It's not that fluidy, it obviously stays pretty solid on the hand, but as soon as you go to blend it out, ooh, it just melts on the skin, and it does turn into a more kind of thin formula that has a bit of slip to it. You see that? it's like gone, but it adds this instant layer of like hydration and glow to the skin. It does actually come in 2 types. So this one is the one for normal to dry skin, and it does actually have like an orange dot on the packaging. And the other one is for combination to oily skin, and it does have a blue dot instead. I only got the like normal to dry one since I do have drier skin, but I assume that the combo one does have more of a lightweight feel to it. And I also love the packaging. I mean, Laneige always does such a nice job with their packaging, but I feel like it's just so sleek. I mean, it has the Laneige symbol there, and it's got this little like where it comes out, and the pump is very like smooth and nice to use. So yeah, I really appreciate the packaging design too. And I actually do notice on global websites like the Laneige official US store, as well as like Sephora Australia, they don't actually carry the emulsion. They only carry the cream and then sometimes the toner from the Water Bank range. So obviously emulsions are still a product category that isn't quite as common or popular in the Western beauty industry, but I absolutely love them. One thing I must say before we finish up is that it is pretty heavy on the fragrance. It does smell kind of like a nice, a little bit fancy skincare. Personally, I do not mind it at all, but I know for people who are sensitive to fragrance, like it's not subtle, like it's a decent fragrance. So that is something to consider, but for me it has definitely been a hit. Next I have another Korean moisturizer, and it is the Round Lab Soybean Nourishing Cream. I am pretty conflicted to my thoughts on this one. Obviously Round Lab has released many amazing products. Birch Juice Sunscreen is one of my favorites, and the Dr. line in general is very popular. And this is their black soybean line, which is meant to be more nourishing and really good for drier skin. So I was like, you know what, that sounds perfect for me. I always need a little bit of extra moisture. So the main ingredient is black soybean, which is supposed to help with elasticity of your skin. It does also have ceramide NP, which is going to soothe, moisturize, and help with that skin barrier. And then also has turmeric root extract, which I feel like you don't always see, which is supposed to be good for anti-aging. It is a pretty medium bodied cream, as you can see in the jar. It is quite thick and you won't like fall out, although once you apply it, it does like melt down. It's not overly thick and heavy. Like there's definitely plenty of moisturizers out there that are way thicker than this one, but I just can't seem to put my finger on it. Like, yeah, it moisturizes. It's not like necessarily tacky, but it's like still there, and not in a good way like a barrier or like a shield, like say the Claire's Blue Cream, but it just feels like it's not like fully absorbing. Hence why I'm kind of like, I don't know, it's not bad, but it's not something that I kind of continuously reach for, and I've used it like a little bit. I mean, I've done more than just the like few applications. I've tried it like multiple times, but over other moisturizers I just haven't been using it. I am going to give it a little bit longer of a try before completely ruling it out, but the one other thing that I just can't really get over is the smell of it. It is actually fragrance free, but to me it like smells like plastic or Play-Doh or like clay or something. You know, some things that are unscented, like it just has this plastic smell to it because it's just the smell of the ingredients, but it's not like completely scentless, and for me it's just not a very enjoyable experience. Hence why like I actually do like fragrance in a lot of my skincare, especially if the like unscented version smells weird to me. I prefer to have a scent that I like. Unfortunately, as of yet, it is a miss. Next, I have a Japanese SPF, and it is the Nivea Japan UV Deep Protect and Care Gel. Look, I just had to give this one a go. It is one of the best-selling SPFs in Japan and has been for a few years now. Both in 2022 and 2023, it won second best SPF on the @Cosme ranking, so that is saying something. And even now, I literally checked yesterday, it is ranking within the top 10 SPFs on @Cosme, so it is still relevant, still popular, and I finally gave it a go. So I must admit that I have kind of weaned myself off Japanese SPFs in general over probably like the last couple of years. I did love my Japanese SPFs, especially when I was younger and had more like normal combo skin. Also when I lived overseas, so I lived in Florida and then in Japan, where it gets pretty humid, especially in summertime, which Japanese SPFs work so well because they're incredibly lightweight. But being back in Melbourne, Australia, it is dry like all year round. Summer, winter, we don't get very humid weather. So for someone who has drier skin that is getting older and then also living in a very dry, dehydrated climate, the higher content of alcohol in Japanese SPFs, which make them so beautifully lightweight, is not enough moisture for my skin. Hence why I have been preferring Korean sunscreens in the last couple of years. That being said, I actually wanted to introduce this one as a perfect SPF for the body, and it seems like a lot of people agree. So the second ingredient is in fact ethanol, so it does have that super lightweight feel. You can even tell from when I put it on my hand. Oh my goodness, it literally... Bro, what are the chances? Take two. It is lightweight, as you can see. It does run down my hand, and it is a super duper lightweight gel formula. I mean, look at it. It's already like nothing, and I have barely blended it in. So if you want something that is super lightweight, I mean, look, like it is nothing, and there is obviously no white cast whatsoever. It does apply like a little bit dewy to begin with, but personally on my skin as well, it does dry down to a very satin skin-like finish. It is SPF 50 plus with PA++++ and is meant to be super waterproof. So they said it is tested to be okay in the water for 18 minutes, and it does contain 5 chemical filters, which actually makes it the highest protection SPF out of the Nivea Japan sunscreens, which I think is great. For my dry skin, I do feel like it is a little like lacking in that moisture for a full day's wear on my face, but that is why it is perfect for the body. It is great for like the neck, your arms, legs, and it is also a very generous size, being 80 grams and usually sells for about 1,000 Japanese yen. So if you put it in Japan, that is approximately $6 US for 80 grams of sunscreen. So yeah, obviously a really good deal. Even on YesStyle, I saw they sell it for about 12 USD, so still a really good deal. I will say the only thing is it does contain fragrance, like a lot of Japanese sunscreen, so it does contain alcohol and fragrance. So if you are sensitive to those things, obviously I would say avoid it, but personally I will be taking this one to Florida because I'm going there in a few weeks. It has been a hit for me. Alright, the last product I have today is some sheet masks. It is the Nameraka Honpo Aging Care Mask. You guys know I love my sheet masks, and last month, for the whole month of June, I did a little sheet mask challenge myself and used a sheet mask morning and night every single day for 30 days, and that video will be coming, so make sure to keep your eyes out for that one. But this one I opened during that challenge with very high hopes. I was very excited for this one, and I feel like that maybe my hopes were a little too high. So this one is part of the Aging Care series from Nameraka Honpo. It is supposed to be more of a nourishing and anti-aging line. If you know the brand, they use soybean extracts in all of their products, and the Aging Care line is supposed to have like a higher concentration of that fermented soy milk that they use. It also does contain retinol, other soybean extracts, and ceramides in this sheet mask. And it does describe the essence as a jeru, which is like gel emulsion essence. So it's supposed to be like a little bit more like a milky essence. Honestly, I was expecting so much more. I can't say the sheet mask itself is like soaked in that much essence. I mean, it's alright, but honestly I feel like some of the, like even the Sabodino ones have more essence than this. So it is supposed to be high in moisture and have those kind of anti-aging benefits and all of that, but moreover they supposedly say you can use it as an all-in-one. So it's supposed to be a toner, serum, emulsion cream and sheet mask all in one, and you're supposed to be able to go with just this and finish your like nighttime skincare routine. That was definitely not possible on this dry skin. It is supposed to be left on for like 5 to 10 minutes, but I felt like it dried out before then. It didn't leave much of like a moisture barrier or glowiness or like plumpness to the skin after I removed it. It just felt like, okay, like a semi-hydrating sheet mask. So it's not bad, but it doesn't really do what they claim for it to do and what they market marketed to do. It is also 1,400 yen for 20 masks, which honestly isn't that bad at all. I mean, Japanese sheet masks are so affordable, but the Saborino masks are 1,500 for 32 sheet masks. So in terms of value for money, the Saborino ones have so much more for the price, and I do feel like they just are packed with more essence compared to this one. So unfortunately, it has been a miss for me, although it is also fragrance free if you are after some Japanese fragrance free sheet masks. Well, that is it for this hits and misses video, you guys. I actually had so much fun just casually talking about some products without the pressure to kind of stick to a theme. If you do have a little bit more time, I would super appreciate it if you checked out one of these videos here, because honestly I do think you'll enjoy it. Let's talk a little bit more about skincare, and I guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye!